Okay, so hey guys, and today I'm back with the anime review, and this time it is the original Pokemon anime. And I'm obviously not going to review every arc of this anime, but I'm just going to review things such as the companions, the rivals, and the league. And also, this is just the review of the episodes in the Kanto region, and I will make different anime reviews for each region. Not each season, but each region, since reviewing all the seasons would be a little bit too much for me. Anyways, let's begin the review. Okay, so let's talk about the beginning of this anime. It has some of the best episodes in the entire Pokemon series. I especially love the first one where Pikachu saved Ash from the Spearows, who were introduced to us as very fearsome and dangerous creatures with his Thunder move. Okay, so at first, Team Rocket were introduced as a very dangerous threat to the Pokemon world, and I actually got excited of getting really good villains, and I thought that they were going to be good because of how much the anime was building them up. But at the end, they turned out to be terrible villains, and now I'm not even sure if they are villains anymore. I wish Jesse, James, and Meowth actually succeeded in capturing Pikachu at least once, because if they did that, we would finally get to see how powerful they were, and also we could get a fun arc where Ash has to find and rescue Pikachu because of them. But this anime decided to take the wrong direction and made Jesse, James, and Meowth absolute fools. And maybe they should have always defeated Ash in every Pokemon battle in the first season, and maybe the first season should have ended with Ash finally overcoming his fear of these three Team Rocket members and defeating them once and for all. If that happens, then Team Rocket blasting off again would seem epic and not stupid. And also, maybe the final episode of the first season could end with Jesse, James, and Meowth reporting their loss to Giovanni, which would alert Giovanni about this trainer named Ash, which could set up a bigger battle between Ash and his friends and the entire Team Rocket gang. Wouldn't that be epic? Team Rocket had great potential, but they completely ruined it. Okay, so let's talk about Ash's companions. To be honest, I really don't like Misty, and she was even introduced in an annoying way. And the gym battle with her also wasn't all that great, and overall I just don't like her that much. Brock, however, was a way better character than Misty with a way better backstory and a way better gym battle. And I don't know why people get upset at that sprinkler thing in the gym battle, since I thought it was actually pretty clever. That was also the first example of Ash turning a disadvantaged situation into an advantageous one. I really liked the gym battle, and overall the companions were pretty good, but they really get to shine in the Johto season. Okay, so the rival of this region is Gary, who is also the rival of the Johto region. Now I really liked how Gary had such an arrogant attitude because that was perfect for a rival, but they completely ruined him in Johto. Why did they make Gary act like a non-arrogant person in Johto? He's the rival! Anyways, he's pretty good in this region, but we really didn't get much of him. And I was really frustrated when we didn't get Ash vs Gary near the end of the season. I know that they were saving the battle for Johto, but wouldn't it be much more impactful if Gary was the one to make Ash lose in the Indigo or Kanto League? Then we could root for Ash a little more in their battle in Johto, because then we would remember that this guy was the one who made Ash lose the first time. So it would have been so much more satisfying when Ash would finally win against him in Johto. Okay, so now let's talk about Ash's Pokemons. Pikachu is obviously great because of its character arc in episode 1, and also because Kanto Pikachu was super cute because it was much chubbier than how it is now. Now, I didn't cry when Butterfree left, but yeah, it was sad and I was not expecting that. Also, I thought that the pink Butterfree was actually a shiny one, and that this episode had been hinting shinies in Gen 2 all along, just like the first one hinted Ho, but obviously I was wrong. It's pretty interesting though how a Butterfree can be pink even without being a shiny. Pidgeot was one of the most powerful and yet the most boring Pokemon Ash had, and I loved Charmander's backstory. I actually felt bad for it, and the Charmander episodes were more emotional to me than the Butterfree episodes, probably because I like Charmander more than Butterfree, who has been completely overshadowed to me by Beedrill. Squirtle was also good, and I liked the Squirtle gang episodes, and Bulbasaur was pretty average. Surprisingly, Bulbasaur was one of the strongest Pokemons Ash had. I still love Bulbasaur's Vine webs, since it seems like those vine webs can literally do everything, from carrying stuff to wrapping stuff to attacking stuff. Kingler was also a pretty powerful Pokemon, but I wish it got more screen time, and Muk was pretty annoying, but I did love some of its battles. Okay, so let's talk about the first Pokemon League that we got to see in the anime, the Indigo League or the Kanto League. I really loved how Moltres appeared near the beginning of this league, and I also liked how Ash couldn't sleep the night before the league began out of pure excitement. It's kind of a parallel to the first episode where he couldn't sleep in excitement of getting his first Pokemon, and I loved it. I also liked how Ash sent a Krabby against an Executor in the first match and still won, because that is exactly what I like about Ash. He doesn't depend on advantages or switching Pokemons. He actually faces his opponents with whatever Pokemon he would like to use, whether it be an advantage or disadvantage, and still win at the end. People who say Ash to use advantages are basically talking like Ash's rivals, who just care about power and not the fun and joy you get out of a Pokemon battle. Ash has always depended on his strategy, which he makes up after the battle has already started, instead of depending on type advantages, and even after that, he manages to win. That is Ash Ketchum. Anyways, the Bellsprout battle was absolutely hilarious, and just think how funny it would be if this Bellsprout actually won the Pokemon League. However, of course it didn't, and Mug defeated it for good. I would love to see this Bellsprout battle against Paul, since this would annoy Paul so much, and I would love to see that battle just to see Paul's annoyed face. Ash vs Richie has to be one of the worst battles in Pokemon history, and definitely my least favorite loss of Ash, and also my least favorite league battle. This battle was so bad, and I really started to hate Charizard for this. And this episode is the reason why Charizard downgraded from being one of my favorite Pokemon to one that I didn't care about much. Talking about Charizard, not Mega Charizard X, by the way. I wish it ended by Gary beating Ash like I mentioned earlier, because like that they would still be able to continue the anime with Ash without giving us such a bad ending to one of the most anticipated tournaments in all of anime. Rating 7.5 out of 10. Best battle Ash vs Blaine. Okay, so yeah guys, and that was it for the video. And I decided to have best battle for the reviews of the Pokemon anime series instead of best episode like I usually do, because this anime is too long and I love all the 82 episodes equally. So it's kind of hard to choose a best episode out of this many episodes. And it would get even harder later on. So yeah, there will be nothing like best episode for the anime reviews of the Pokemon anime series. Anyways guys, don't forget to like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. And see ya guys, bye!